Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So in today's upload, we will be talking about the long range pattern again. Just kind of going over what's any updates, any new information about the weather. And if you guys are new to this channel, hello and welcome. If you are a returning viewer and haven't yet subscribed, consider doing so. And liking the video also helps out a ton. Otherwise, let's start talking about the weather. Okay, so the main theme for today and early into the weekend will be the extremely hot temperatures that are really right now across the western and northern United States, and they will be spreading further to the south, and east, but not really making their way all the way to the south and east, really just all across the Midwest and into the Northeast, across southern Canada. Yeah, very, very, very warm temperatures, especially for this time of the year. Notice across California there are some heat advisories, heat warnings, and excessive heat warnings, actually. So, it's pretty bad when Death Valley has an excessive heat advisory, right? Yeah, usually they're pretty hot. These are some definitely impressive temperatures. Notice 118 is right now actually 48 centigrade, which is very hot. Notice Sunday, Monday, the same stuff. It does cool down a bit, relatively speaking, obviously. It's 103, which is still very warm for anyone that's not used to those conditions. Notice there is a severe thunderstorm watch across Montana right now, so that is definitely to do with some severe thunderstorm potential. It is also very warm here. There's actually a special weather statement right there, which I am assuming is for a thunderstorm of some kind, maybe a squall line, not really probably warranting enough of a severe thunderstorm warning, and I guess that for some reason did not work. Let's see if we could click on this special weather statement. Okay, there we go. Notice Doppler radar was tracking strong thunderstorms, so 5:59 Mountain Standard Time, so that is, I think, an hour behind my time, so yeah, this is pretty up to date. And notice it says strong thunderstorms. Not really enough to be severe, but they were strong, right? Notice excess in 40 miles per hour and dime-sized hail. So nothing, I guess, too bad, but it definitely is a strong thunderstorm, which can be scary. So that is that. Notice the red flag warnings here, which is indicative of some heat that is kind of overcoming with some drought conditions, so that's why there's the fire danger. Notice the Twin Cities have actually a heat advisory, and that's well warranted. Notice tomorrow 99 degrees, really the rest of the week and into Sunday 93. Monday start off the work week very, very warm, and the rest will be a bit cooler, but still nonetheless very, very, very warm. If we were to take a look at another large city like Chicago, it isn't as hot proportionally to their average. It's still, though, rather warm. It's 87 right now, 92 Saturday, Sunday 91. The benefit, if you will, is that the days will be beautiful, but it's going to be hot. And then notice chances of storms start coming up, and this isn't just for the Chicago area. It looks as if much of the south central United States and eventually into the northern kind of eastern half of the U.S. there could be some more rain chances than what we've been seeing. Notice this is Detroit, so let's take a look at what they have to see for their temperatures. Definitely warm. Not as ridiculous as, say, for Minneapolis or the Dakotas compared to average. If you're to take a look at, say, Minot or just Harvey, North Dakota, look at that 102 right now. That's not something you'd like to see, especially in areas that have exceptional drought. So that is that. There is a potential for some severe thunderstorms. Some actually did just move through, and that's a threat with such hot temperatures. And if you get even a little bit of humidity in there, the atmosphere works, in harmony. You could get some pretty powerful bad thunderstorms. So let's take a look at what the radar will look like for the next 60 hours using this high-res model. So notice this is starting from 8 o'clock today in the morning. So again, this data is a bit old, but notice we are now caught up. This is 6, 7. Again, those thunderstorms across the Montana, North Dakota area. Notice some are erupting again across Texas, the southeast, into potentially even extreme northeast, say Long Island, and into portions of the Outer Banks. Nothing really significant. We do see a bow echo right there across Lake Superior as we push into the late overnight hours. At this point, it is 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We see more thunderstorm activity to the south. We do see a bit more to the north right there across the UP, Upper Peninsula of Michigan into the early morning hours. As you get towards the afternoon, potentially some of that pushes into the northeast, the Appalachian Mountains, Adirondacks, I should say, into Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. You can see some of these, again, can be powerful. But look, we have these daytime kind of little convective thunderstorms across much of the south, kind of just freckling the whole quadrant of the southern United States with isolated storms. And this will continue to spread to the north and kind of increase with intensity as we get into Sunday and Monday and early next week. Notice across Colorado, Wyoming, New Mexico, also a threat for some storms. And then tomorrow into the afternoon, look what happens across the UP and northern Michigan. Another wave of potentially some large thunderstorms. I don't think the severe threat is awfully too high, but look at the movement. They could definitely compile onto one onto another, and that could definitely produce heavy rain event after heavy rain events. So, definitely a potential for flooding. But by the late overnight hours, it seems to be dying down, but they could still be, producing lots of rain in the strongest areas. Notice some storms around the Dallas area, across the northwest, really into Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, kind of forming this line of thunderstorms. And in the middle is just this ridge of very warm temperatures, which is why it's going to be so hot in cities like Minneapolis and elsewhere in the upper Midwest. Notice that by Sunday, or this is late Saturday, early Sunday, we see another line push out into the Dakotas, right? You can see right there, North Dakota, seeing some rain, potentially much needed rain. Hopefully we could get some of that without too much of the severe weather. And then notice that as we push into Sunday, look at all that precip from the Gulf Coast starting to charge to the north. So notice at this point it's affecting potentially Illinois, maybe Indiana, right? Missouri, Iowa. Very isolated in coverage, but if you do get under one of these, heavy rain, some lightning, maybe some small hail. It doesn't look severe, but definitely some much needed moisture. And when you get those hot temperatures with the humidities, you could start getting some pretty nasty thunderstorm cells, which at Sunday still won't be really enough to the north, but definitely across the south. You could see Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, some larger cells. And I noticed across the Colorado Plains Mountains also some nice systems and storms, I should say, and some pushing into the northwest. Also northern Minnesota could get graced by some thunderstorms into late Sunday. Now let's take a look at the NAM 12KM, which is a similar model. It just goes, I apologize about that, just goes a bit further out than the 60 hours. And notice it's a bit relatively new model data from not that long ago. Notice that as we push into Sunday overnight into early Monday, a lot of that precipitation from the south pushes even further to the north. You can see kind of centering across Missouri, Illinois, Indiana. This is now midday Monday, and right there across the Dakotas, potentially in the evening hours. Another line of potentially potent, strong, maybe some severe thunderstorms. And then this is where the model stops 84 hours out. This is Tuesday night. You can see a bit of coverage across the north and northwest, and especially across the south. The GFS continues this, right? We take this model to notice there it portrays that precip event Monday across the south. Look, a lot of these thunderstorms will be driven with the daytime heating, meaning that by the time night comes, which you can see right there, they die down in coverage. Across the north, though, you can see some of them are continuing across North Dakota. And as we push this forward, look, into Tuesday, we see quite a bit of precipitation now spreading into Illinois, Indiana. What started off in the Gulf Coast, right, a few days ago, is now into, further, again, areas further north. And you can see that across the northern plains, more clusters, more of an organized system starts to form. And then into Wednesday, another day of kind of scattered coverage across the Midwest and into portions of the northwest. They get on definitely some heavy rain. Look at that, Montana, Idaho. So that's into Wednesday night into Thursday, and then Thursday into Friday. You can see more scattered coverage, more little thunder clusters, kind of just gracing random areas. At this point, seemingly driven by no constant motion. Some traveling to the north, some to the south. And you can see by Saturday, Sunday, a bit more coverage. Look at that, potentially an outbreak of severe weather Saturday evening, and then that kind of again spreads further toward the east. Yeah, definitely, and you can see some of that even getting into portions of Arizona. Much needed rain is definitely welcome there, so potentially a bit more. But up until then, around the mid-June area timeline, it's going to stay relatively dry. And notice that maybe some more substantial systems. And look at that, even some snow across extreme northern or northern viewing area here. So that's the GFS. Let's take a look at the Canadian model. Again, let's just do these first beginning hours. Notice more towards the north, right? And the south is, sorry about that, more to the north and south is convection, right? But as you push this further into Monday, Tuesday, the precipitation from the south gets a bit further to the north. Not as far north as what the European model, or sorry, that's what the GFS shows, but definitely still there. You can see into Thursday, Wednesday, still affecting the northern plains with some scattered thunderstorms. They really need that rain, and into the south, right, and by the end of the forecasting period, you can see more moisture kind of pivoting towards the west. You can see now into New Mexico, Colorado, and more centered across Texas rather than, I would say, the Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia area. But yeah, definitely scattered in coverage. Some areas will stay dry, others will stay wet, right? And that's, unfortunately, we can't really see that. You can see Canadian a bit conservative with the precip to the north. GFS a bit more liberal, shows a bit more, and across the southwest it keeps things dry. But again, some of that could be starting to show up, especially in the latter half of the forecast. So definitely good news if that were to come. But surrounding areas, hopefully, like say areas like Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, they get some rain as corn's starting to grow, but it's really dry and hot, and that heat has to be met with equally amounts of moisture, because heat is demanding and it evaporates anything that is left in those areas that are suffering from a drought right now. I do want to show you now the European model. This is a model I haven't showed you yet. Again, goes out to 240 hours, similar to the Canadian. Look at this. Into today and tomorrow night, we have a decent low pressure across southern Canada, and it spreads across the northeast into the southern plains. What? And then now I want to show you the European model. I haven't showed you this model yet, but notice we have a low pressure today into tomorrow across the kind of the south Canada area. We also have some rain across the south. Again, that precip will start rising to the north. Some storms across the UP tomorrow in afternoon and into Sunday, and kind of across the U.S.-Canadian border. Notice we have another low pressure gracing kind of southern Canada. Some of that could definitely spill into the Dakotas, especially during the evenings when the sun could help stir some thunderstorms. Notice right there across Minnesota, potentially some late Sunday afternoon, or I should say evening. And then again, moisture during the night is more consolidated, but during the afternoon and daytime, you can see it's more scattered. It's more popcorn-like, but again, some of these could be drenching thunderstorms. A lot of rain associated with them, and very relatively slow moving. And then notice as we push into Tuesday, look at that. The European definitely keeps things rather aggressive, and it's really all along the Ohio, the Tennessee, just the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast, the South, the Eastern Great Lakes. A lot of, or I should say almost all of the Great Lakes area is all covered in these little scattered showers. You can see during the night how big of a difference that is. And then you can see Wednesday, similar story, maybe a bit further towards the east, a bit of an organized system again across the Dakotas. Some stronger cells during the Wednesday night into Thursday, and then into Thursday during the daytime, a bit of those scattered cells again across further maybe towards the south this time. You can see a lot of these little lines and clusters of storms. They can be powerful, kind of just traversing the landscape as we get into Friday of next week, and this is now into Saturday. This is now Sunday, and you can see shifting a bit to the east and activity in south, kind of abandoning these areas as we go forward in a precip forecast. The European model in terms of precipitation, look, a lot across Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, especially northern Mississippi and Alabama. Not a lot across the west, though it does bring a bit into the northwest, and then measly amounts across the kind of Great Lakes area. A lot of these locations would benefit from a nice solid soaking, except currently that doesn't look that feasible. Unfortunately, most of it stays to the south where they don't really need it. It's been extremely wet here. One area where they do need is across the Carolinas. It has been pretty dry, but yeah, to the north, the food basket of the U.S. is looking dry, and unfortunately, the drought conditions may continue to worsen. So definitely, yeah, definitely not something we'd like to see, but hopefully, the European isn't accurate with that, which is probably going to be hard for it not to be that accurate. Usually, it's a pretty good model, right? Notice RAP goes out to 51 hours. It's a high-res model, keeps, again, most of the precip either to the north or to the south of kind of the Midwest, but you can see the south where it does rain picks up quite a bit, and where these clusters form across the UP or a bit north or a bit south, there will be quite a good chance of rain as well. All right, that is basically it for today's video. I just wanted to give you an update. I could show you actually the UK model, what it shows in terms of precip. maybe a bit further to the north with those decent amounts, right? Cross into Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin. But again, focusing mainly across the south into cities like Georgia or Atlanta, 2 inches, potentially Little Rock again, 2 to 3 inches, and New Orleans potentially again 3 to 4 inches. Same with Houston and Eastern Texas. All right, thank you guys. I'll catch you all guys on the next episode. See ya. Bye.